I'm not impressed from a Sixers standpoint that Mikal Bridges is a Knick. I got to tell you guys, when I saw this news last night, I was up pretty late last night. I was up to like 12:30, and I don't remember what time this broke, 10, 10:30, 11, whatever it was. I am.
No, did this keep you up?
No.
Was this an emotional,
no.
distraught?
No, a nap kept me up. So let me just say this.
Oh, no.
I am so bummed. I am so bummed as a 76ers fan that Mikal Bridges is headed to the New York Knicks. And I am so disappointed that my expectations are so low for the 76ers in free agency. Look, I want to hear from everyone today. You know, just a couple days, obviously, until this thing from a free agency standpoint gets real on July 1st. But there have already been dominoes that are related, whether it's to free agency or trades. You know, you've already had, Pascal Siakam commit to Indiana. You've already had Mikal Bridges, trade it to the New York Knicks. This to me feels like the Eagles' playoff game this past January versus Tampa Bay. It feels to me like it's over before it's even begun. Like I was very clear before that Eagles-Bucks game. Like I didn't see how the Eagles were going to win the game. They couldn't beat the freaking Cardinals. They couldn't beat the Giants. They weren't even competitive against the Giants. And I'm like, okay, I know the Bucks aren't great, but the Eagles are going to win that game? What are you kidding me? And of course, they laid down like dogs. And, the thing about this Sixers thing is there is opportunity. There actually is opportunity. But you have to have a good enough organization that players want to play here. See, here's the thing about Bridges. It is so multifold, it's unbelievable. He wanted to play for the Knicks. There is a report, and I certainly believe it. I mean, it's been great reporting by some of these major guys, Adrian Wojnarowski, Shams, and others. There's a report that Bridges, who had 2 years left and still does have 2 years left on his deal, was through his agent. They were informing teams, don't trade for me because in 2 years I'm going to go sign with the Knicks. You know why? Because he believes in Jalen Brunson more than Joel Embiid. Because he believes in the Knicks organization with Leon Rose more than he believes in the Sixers organization, which had him and traded him like 20 minutes later. So I want to hear from everyone today. This is not just, let me be clear, guys, at 215-592-9494. This is not just a Mikal Bridges to the New York Knicks conversation. No. Certainly that's a jumping off point for a broader conversation, and we do want your reaction. At 215-592-9494. I'm sure some of you, maybe many of you listening right now are perhaps just waking up to the news. And by the way, the Knicks gave up a ton. They gave up all sorts of draft picks. So they gave up a lot. But they're in a great spot now. So yes, I do want your reaction at 215-592-9494 to the fact that Mikal Bridges now gets to run with his buddies from Nova with the Knicks, with a team that's got like 7 or 8 really quality players. Yeah, we want your reaction to that. But the broader thing is the Sixers. Your sense of anticipation, expectation for this coming free agency, and I expect most today to be disappointed going in. John, talk to me. You heard that news last night or this morning, whatever time you heard it. What do you make of the whole freaking thing?
That Knick team that beat us in 6, they showed us how important toughness was. They showed us the importance of mindset and how important it is in basketball to be a badass. We talk about it in football all the time. I talk about it, running the football, mindset, how important that is. Let's talk about it as it applies to the NBA, Joel Embiid. His mindset has flagged at times, and I'd say it's led directly to our demise when it has flagged. This mindset matters, and that team up there in New York, the Knicks, they got 4 guys from Villanova now. 4 guys who are teammates.
None of whom are top 10 picks.
Think about how crazy
all of them
this
could have been gotten.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, they were out there and available, and
2 of them were second round picks. Yeah. Come on,
they've been assembled up there. This, and my gosh, Mikal Bridges, like through the years, the opportunities that the Sixers have had. His mother working.
They had him.
He was actually a Sixer.
Sixer.
Yes. He has been on 3 teams since the Sixers decided to send him packing.
Well, John, how about this?
He's been good.
He got traded for Durant. You understand the implication? Like, this is not a bouncer. This is not Tobias Harris.
He was the centerpiece of a Durant trade.
Like, when Tobias Harris got here, it was like his 37th team. I don't know, like his fifth or sixth.
It was like his fifth
team.
or sixth.
Not because he was so spectacular that he'd been traded for LeBron and Durant and Steph Curry. Like, no. He was just a bounce-around guy because he wasn't that good. Bridges has moved because he was traded for Durant. And now a team with championship aspirations, the New York Knicks, have grabbed him from a team that obviously is headed, to the lottery for the next couple of years, the Nets. Yeah. And the Sixers had him. And he chose, obviously, in June of 2024, he chose the Knicks. See, that's the thing about this free agency thing. And look, we want to hear from everyone at 215-592-9494. Someone's got to choose you. Someone's got to choose you.
And now what have we become? We are second choice, third choice, fourth choice. We're like slim pickings, like rash, like the vittles are no longer good. They're just sort of sitting in the corner. That's us. We're the leftovers. That's who could have imagined that we would fall this far?
Well, Rhea could have, Larry Brown could have, Angela could have. There's a lot of people that did. I mean, to be clear, there were a lot of people that said this ain't going to work. Now, I'll tell you this. I still think it could have, but they messed it up. I'm not looking to
time and time
so many
again.
times. I mean,
think about this basic thing. The guy they traded to start the process ended up still being right now a better player than anyone but Embiid in the process. And maybe Maxey, but
it's close. It's close. Well, how about
but the guy they traded to start it in Holiday?
He's a two-time
champion since then.
With the two teams that have been, if you look at the last, bunch of years, the three teams with the best record in the East have been the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Sixers. I mean, and the Celtics have won one, and the Bucks have won one, and Drew Holiday was the second or third best player on both of those teams. I just, guys, I want to hear from you at 215-592-9494. We haven't led with the Sixers from a show topic standpoint in a while because, frankly, there hasn't been that much to lead with. I mean, the Phillies have had a tremendous season. The Eagles are always compelling. There's been a lot going on there, and we are going to get a lot today into the Phillies. We certainly, will take your reaction on yesterday's Phillies game. It was a dud. There really wasn't much to it. It's one of those games where there's only two half innings that a run even gets scored. Four by Detroit in the one inning. The ninth inning homer by Bryce. He continues to stay hot. He's got the batting average at 300.
I think Trey Turner's defense. If you're looking at something out of last night to be like, all right, what are we talking about here? I think it's Trey Turner's defense.
I agree. The good news, it's not like Ranger got banged around. I mean, at the very end of that inning, there's a triple down the right field, it was a hard hit ball. But the other balls in that inning were not particularly hard hit. So it's not like one of those things where it's like, all right, things are starting to get shaky on Ranger. I'm not there. We're not there. We shouldn't be there. But we will take your reaction, to last night's or yesterday's Phillies game. Last night at 215-592-9494. I mean, we do want to get into that, and we will get into the Eagles. As Jaws said an awful lot to us yesterday, and a good chunk of it was about Jalen Hurts, and it was fascinating. And we'll play that audio today. But the thing that's really top of mind for me today, and I'm sure there are some people waking up right now to the news that Mikal Bridges is headed to the Knicks. I mean, guys, think of this team the Knicks have assembled. Again, now think about this. And remember, the Sixers only have like 3 or 4 players. They got 2 really good players, and then they just fall off a cliff, and they only have like 3 or 4 players. Right? The Knicks have Brunson. They have Hart. They have DiVincenzo. They have Bridges. They have, if they retain him, and most people think they will.
That's 4 Villanova teammates from the same Villanova team right there.
That's right. They will, in all likelihood, have OG Anunoby. They got Julius Randle, who, we all forget about. I don't think he's phenomenal, but they got him, who didn't even play in the playoffs. They got that Mitchell Robinson guy.
He's so skillful, and he'll be healthy.
I mean, they roll dudes. They roll dudes at you. So, this is the way the Pistons won the championship with that Chauncey Billups team and Rasheed Wallace and Ben Wallace and Rip Hamilton. They assembled guys. Now, that's not normally the path to the championship, and I think it's clear that the Celtics are still better than the Knicks. But I'll tell you this, man, Knicks are knocking on the door. Knicks are in the conversation for the title. And by the way, they got guys at great ages. I mean, the Knicks have a runway of a solid 5 years. I mean, a solid 5 years. And the Sixers, again, I'll just say this, and I'm curious if this resonates with you. As the Sixers move toward free agency in the next couple days, and there are possibilities, I'm not saying there aren't, This is not the ultimate gloom and doom. They could pull something off here, all right? But I don't expect them to. And my feeling is it reminds me a lot of that Eagles playoff game. Like, not everyone knew it was over before it began, but I think a lot of us did. And then we saw their dog performance. Like, this Sixers thing to me, I mean, Seltzer, we're supposed to be kind of getting fired up for free agency in a few days. I feel like it's over before it began.
But
it's the least excited I've been for, and we actually have like
cap room.
That's what I mean.
It's a big opportunity.
I can't believe it. Like, we've been waiting for the moment when we have cap room, and I am like zero juice
in the worst free agent spot there is.
Learned hopelessness. It's like we haven't had assets to trade away to garner any picks in the past, and so now we don't expect it or something. Look, I do think Jimmy Butler could be something.
Look, they might have to.
Could be the only thing that lifts this Sixers team above where they are right now, the muck.
No, I agree.
Jimmy Butler he can't play basketball the way he did 5 years ago, but he can yell at Joel. He can get messages across. He can
be a leader, which they need desperately.
Yeah. He can
as
be
long as he
tough-minded.
plays more games than he has been in recent seasons, because Joel Embiid's already missing a quarter of the season every year.
Jimmy Butler has to budget himself now, and that's a problem. But maybe that doesn't matter so much if he can inspire Joel to lift his own game.
Yeah.
If Jimmy can be the vocal leader more than physical.
Yeah,
and
look,
Joel can take over more of the physical.
There is so much to this conversation. We want to hear from you today at 215-592-9494. On one level, it's your basic reaction to Mikal Bridges to the Knicks. Mikal Bridges to the Knicks. All right, that is one thing to weigh in on. But so too is this bigger Sixers thing. What Bridges to the Knicks represents, and how you feel as a Sixers fan on the night of the NBA draft. I don't think you get Bronny because LeBron ain't coming here. And then also just with free agency in a couple days. I mean, what do you do? And what's reasonable to pull off? And listen, they might have to go Butler, even if they have to put all these picks on the table, because I don't think Paul George is probably coming here. But look, we'll see. 215-592-9494. We'll get into the Phillies and the Eagles a lot more as well coming up. Joe DeCamera and John Ritchie. It's 94 WIP.